Hopefully people can hear me. Up the back of the hall, some great, thanks. Well, and some people just filtering through the door. Is that everyone? Everyone's here.
It's close enough.
That's close enough, all right. Well, welcome everyone, family, friends. Look, my name is Simon. Most of you would know me as Si. And hopefully throughout the next 15 minutes you'll learn why I'm holding the microphone. And being able to be a pleasure to stand next to Dave. I met a fair few of you yesterday, and some I've met over the course of, living life and being part of the church here. I have known Dave for 24 years this year, so strangely enough, we are still friends. I mean, here we are, 24 years. That does mean throughout our teenage years, there wasn't a lot of time where I wasn't living in their house or in their cars or at family events, Christmases, other church events. I very quickly become part of the furniture, as Barb and Barry would understand. They welcomed me wholeheartedly into their family, living out of pocket. And the awkward part of that was they probably didn't realise, Mum and Dad at the time, what an influence I was going to be. It was too late by the time I had started showing up and living out of their house. The fact was, I got to know Dave through high school, and I distinctly remember there probably wasn't much of any report card or parent-teacher interview that didn't have Barb and Barry, your son is too distracted. He spends all of his time talking to Simon. You should probably think about this.
Is that true, Ali?
I mean, most exactly. So it's that teacher talk that I'm trying to warn a parent that there's a child that might be influencing your son. And it was one of those moments where it was too late. They had welcomed me into their home, and Dave was right there, allowing it to all happen. It seemed, though, that because of my influence, Dave was becoming more of a delight to be around for everyone as well. He was outside, he was doing more social things, he spent more time chatting with people and being more outgoing. I'm sure Barb and Barry were more concerned with him focusing on study, career-based things. Who was I to know? I was there being the influence. As time went on, though, I realised what a great young man Dave was starting to become in my life as well. I started being dragged along to church willingly. I would get picked up and taken. From day dots, I started learning where Dave's values were and how much he would defend them being a Christian. Thank you. Over the course of the following school years, though, youth camps, church camps, school get-togethers, all those sort of things, I started to get to know Dave's family a little bit more. He had a brother, Andrew, who is here today. My first introduction to Andrew was he was doing a handstand down the hallway, and I thought I saw him go past, and then suddenly he fell through a door with an alarming racket and an owl. No one in the house, though, seemed to care. Everyone just thought that this is pretty normal. And I'm the only one is he okay? Who was that? And then got to know who Andrew was and his quirks. The other people that I learned over a holiday period is I went to stay and I was bumped into another different room and thought, well, this is definitely even more unsettling for me. David had a sister, Joanne. She's got some stories I can tell you about as well, but I'm here for David. But I got to know all of them quite personally over 23 years of living with them. It's at these moments and it's at these gatherings and the family events that I got to learn exactly the kind of fella Dave was. He'd go out of his way, make sure you had food, make sure you weren't the last person picked for sporting events, as people pick teams. He'd make sure that all the church gatherings that were available, he'd get me to. He would come out of his way, pick me up, drag me along, and I would always go, and he'd always be able to help other people. Most of the time, he was one of those people that was a first responder. call for help, someone needs something, Dave will just show up with a smile. How am I doing? 15 minutes? Am I there yet?
Very good.
Yeah. All right, I'll get there.
You've got 25 to go.
25 to go. All right, just let me extend this some more. I wrote this one specifically so I wouldn't get it wrong. So now I'm going to ignore you and read my paper. Barb and Barry, gotta say it. No. You can, and with the highest respect, are able to be proud of the man. Ooh, this is weird. Shake it off. Don't tell a joke. Shake it off. You can be proud of the man that you've raised today. I know it's not going to be easy, Jolanda, in a house full of men around, but at the head of that house is someone who I can still feel confident and call my older brother. He's the man I grew up thinking I should be a little bit more alike with every chance I got to wake up and become a man myself and model that slightly after you. Dave always seemed to be in control of situations, even if at the time it really didn't seem like he was. And I'm sure we understand, for those that know him, that is very present. The first time I introduced him to my now wife Beck, who was here today as well, hopped in his car and off we went out to bush, and I knew exactly where he was going, headed for the biggest bog hole you could see. And he drove the car straight in. Which, again, that is very uncontrolled, but he knew exactly what he was doing. I think he was screening Beck, getting to know her for me. And they were stuck in the car for 2 hours while we tried to figure out how to get him out. It was a long time to get to know Beck. But again, he knew exactly what was happening. He had people around him, he was in control and knew what was going to happen and how he was going to get the car out. I can skip some of that. Yeah, look, you know, there's many more stories that I have of over a 23-year period of living out of their house that I could tell you about Dave. One of the big ones, though, is he's plugged into church. He knows exactly what he believes, and he will defend his thoughts, his views on what he believes strongly with grounded biblical knowledge. Dave's just one of those few people who I'd happily send in to defend myself, and knowing he is exactly in control of the situation that is before him. Dave, I couldn't be more thankful that you have found Jolanda. It's only words on paper. You realise you're next. I couldn't be more thankful that you found Jolanda. Together you've started to make a life filled with laughter, love, and a shared purpose. It's okay. You know those tissues I asked you about before?
Would you like some?
I'll get through this. Jolanda. Thank you for being such a wonderful partner today and for bringing your warmth and kindness to his family and to me. Today isn't just about the two of you. It's about the unity that you've created between your families. It's a privilege to witness this moment